That's awesome. All right. So let's get started here. Today, our topic of the webinar is invoicing and payments, essentially. And we're going to see how ServiceWorks is helping in to simplify that process, accelerate it, you know, and helps you stay on top of your invoices and payments. Like everything that you do in your operations, right from the beginning of your day till the end of the day, everything has to materialize into your revenue, right? So we're going to see how we can create and, keep a track of all your invoices and how we can get paid faster and stay on top of everything. Hey, Michael, thank you for joining in. So quick housekeeping rules for the webinar. Like I always mention, there is a chat window, webinar chat, where you can post messages for everybody to read. There's a question and answer area. There's a question and answer chat wherein you can post your questions and we will try to answer that live in the webinar. Anybody who has the same question in their mind, please feel free to go ahead and upload that question. And then we'll take it from there so we can keep a track of question and answers. At the end of the webinar, there's a survey that will pop up on your screen. And then please help us to understand what are the kind of topics that you would like to see for webinars. What is it that you liked about the webinar? What is it that you would like us to include and show? So that will help us improve, improvise, and help us understand what your pain points are and help you bring in those topics so that we can educate you more and more and help you get used to using this wonderful tool, which is at your disposal at its best capacity. So that's the whole goal of, coming together once a month or once in 6 weeks to discuss what is important to you. So I would really love to get your inputs and understand how we can come up with topics that would be helpful for you. If you think that you were not able to chat with me or Taj or able to post your questions or queries at the end of this session, you're going to have our contact information so that you can email us. It is success@service.works, and you will see that information towards the end of this webinar. So let's get started here really quick. We're going to understand why it is important to streamline your invoicing and payments process in ServiceWorks. So some of the common problems that we come across, when you're doing invoicing is if it is not streamlined or automated or any of that is done. Some of the common problems that you face would be, if you're doing manual invoicing, then there will be inconsistencies in following up. You might, you know, have delayed paperwork, you might have lost invoices, and sometimes it would be just unclear to your team or you to follow up on anything that is really not accountable or lost in the process. Um, if you have, if you're doing all this on paper, then possibly your payment terms are unclear. Your customers are really not understanding what the payment terms are. It can cause a friction, and it will ultimately cause and result into cash flow issues typically. So many service businesses struggle to invoice promptly after completing the job, which slows down your payment cycle. So basically, late and inaccurate invoices would lead to late payments, customer dissatisfaction, reduced operational efficiencies, and delays in invoicing can also increase your administrative burden. At the end of the day, you might feel overwhelmed. You might feel like there's a lot that has not been done. So it is extremely important that you streamline your invoicing and your payment process in ServiceWorks. You have this wonderful tool here. You should definitely make use of it. And, this should, after everything is streamlined and put in place, you should have, very little time to do your paperwork, and you'll have a lot of time on your hand to serve your customers. So why is there a need of automation, or any of the integration should matter, because automation reduces human error, ensures invoices are going out on time. Integrated payments will streamline your entire workflow from job completion to payment. It's going to be seamless. So the last time we met, we saw the whole workflow of how you create an um, estimate, and how that estimates can get converted into a job. So we're going to see a video here that will help us understand when we convert an estimate to a job, how that instantly can turn into an invoice, making your process faster and more reliable. All right. So moving on, coming back to our estimations, we're going to see this, how we can convert our estimate into a job and how we can generate an invoice from there. So we're going to go here. This is a video which shows your estimation view. All your estimates reside here. We're going to take a look at an approved estimate to see how we can convert that to a job, and how we can take a look at that invoice from your edit job page right here. And how that happens, we'll come to that part as well. So if you look at this, your invoice is like ready, and you can see a preset template with your branding information and everything that is related to your job on this invoice template that pulled up. So this is typically your workflow from converting an estimate to invoice. And when you've done that, you will typically see how quickly you can get to the invoice generation. Now, this is just one single invoice. In our next video, we're going to see how you can set a recurring invoice, meaning when you set up a recurring job, the invoice also typically gets created instantly. It's pretty instant as soon as your recurrences are set. And when the time comes, let's say if you've set up a job which is recurring every Wednesday, and you have to send out an invoice every Wednesday per se, then your recurrence gets created, and you can pretty much automate this process as well, where every Wednesday when your job is completed, the invoice will be sent out to your customers at the time, after the time, depending on when the job is completed. You can send the invoice. So you can see the list of your recurring jobs for every Wednesday, and every Wednesday when the job is done, through automation, your invoices can be sent out. So these are two instances where we saw how you can, your invoices can be set up and created. So that's how quick that's going to be. Now, next in line, we're going to see how are we going to do that? How do we create invoice? How do we automate this process? And how do we get paid? Because ultimately, our goal is to get paid after the whole workflow is finished. You have gone, you've scheduled the job, your technician has gone in the field, you have completed the job. Now it's time to invoice your customer and then typically get paid. So we're going to see that. We saw how we can convert your estimates into jobs and then get the invoice generated. We saw creating one-off invoice, the recurring invoice. We're also going to talk about customizing your invoice templates, typically branding your terms, reaching out to your customers with a copy of the invoice and sending them everything that is tied up to an invoice. And then how do you set up your payment terms? How do you set up your due dates? We're going to go over those screens here. So in this video, typically, we can see that we are in your invoice settings, and we can create invoice templates. So we can create different templates based off of your job types. So if you have different types of services that you offer, then you can have a different set of invoice templates for that as well. Here is the invoice email setup, where you can set up the email for your customer saying, hey, John, here's a copy of your invoice. You can include the pictures, the content link here, so they can see the before and after pictures. And you can also include the payment link where your customers can actually click and pay if you're connected to a payment gateway through ServiceWorks. Um, you can see your template copy in here, wherein you can see where your branding is, and these are your field configurations that are there, which you can customize. There's a lot of toggle buttons that can be used to show what your choice should be. So this is a copy of your, let's say current invoice. Earlier, I was trying to create like a new invoice. So there wasn't a template in here, but once you made the selection and you can see your template is loaded here, and there are different legend keywords that you can actually use to display that dynamic information at the time of when you generate the invoice. You will see all this information that fills in. For example, the disclaimer that we have here, that disclaimer, if you have set up your terms, if you have set up any specific thing that you would like to show your customer at the time of their paying you, saying that, these payments are final, you do not issue any refunds, or if you have any um, payment terms, you could actually list all of that, create a disclaimer, and then attach that disclaimer at the end of your invoice as well. So it is easy for your customers to have, to read whatever is attached to that invoice when they get it. So that's what the disclaimers are there for. And I think if you do not have a disclaimer currently, and if you're looking for one, uh, there is a sample disclaimer that ServiceWorks has come up with. It is available on our blog. Taj, if you want to go ahead and put it in there in the chat box. So, whoever is looking for a disclaimer, typically they can make use of that. So that is about creating your invoice template from here, from your invoice setting. Here is your disclaimer setup, and it's all in configuration. You go to your config section, go to your configuration, and then you find the disclaimer settings to create a new disclaimer in here. So if you see, there's a general disclaimer that you can mark it as default, so it's always included in your invoice template via that keyword, which we put in there. So this is how you would be including your disclaimer or your terms in your invoice typically. So if you have any questions regarding that, please feel free to post it in the Q&A box or in the chat box, so Taj can look at them and answer as well. So let's look at what we have next here is setting your payment terms and your due dates. So that is also critical to a lot of businesses where, either your invoices are immediately due, when the customer needs to pay you, they're given like if you're giving them like a grace period of 10 days, 15 days, you can set that up in here. This setting is under invoice settings, invoice process. You can, set your run process as immediate or, 10 days, 15 days, and you can set up a due date for your invoices in this screen as well. And if you're connected to a payment gateway, like I mentioned before, um, and you have a card on file, you can set up a process where you can automatically charge that card immediately, either after the job is done or typically after 1 days of your scheduled date. So here, these are the drop downs that can control that setting and so on. So let me play that really quick here. This is talking about, it will mention your due dates are here, your auto charge days, you can pick a day after or before, and then this is the schedule date or the job completed date. From here, you can pick and then save your settings. Now, if you go here to your customer screen, there is an area in here where you can define the payment terms. Like if you are allowing a certain customer to have certain payment terms like 15 days, 30 days, or 60 days, 90 days, that kind of a setup. So let's see, it's right here. scroll down below. That's the setting where you will typically have your account information going here. So that's where you will select how many payment terms you have. I think it is not showing me this. So let me actually take you to, so you can see typically how the payment terms can look like. So if you go in here, and if I edit a specific customer, here is the area where you can typically set up how many, this is the payment terms. You can either do immediate, 15 days, 30 days, 60 days, or 90 days. That's how you can typically see what it does. In the settings, just to go over quickly about what we just talked, but we couldn't see it in the video for some reason today. Invoice process. So you can set here as well, 15 days, 30 days, 60 days, and 90 days. So your due days could be 7 days after your job date. And if you have a card on file, and if you decide that you might want to just automatically process all your invoices because you have the automated invoicing feature, then you can decide a day typically when you would like to charge all those cards, like before the job, after the job, or you want to go by the due date, or you want to go by the scheduled date. So you can decide that through here. I'm glad I was able to show you here. All right, so let's talk about our next slide, that is payment processing made easy. So integrated payment gateways and ServiceWorks. I want to talk a little bit about that. So we have a payment gateway, our payment gateway ServiceWorks integrated payments, very competitive, very good rate is what we offer. And there is a blog post about that. We will be sharing about that as well in our chat box here. Quickly, Michael has a question. April is asking, is there a text invoice option for a completed invoice from the desktop? Yes, April, we do have, you can send a text message to your customer about, when the job is completed, you can set up an automated text message saying that, hey, thank you for choosing us. Here is a copy of your invoice. And you can send a text message with a payment link with pictures attached. Like you can send a link URL to your invoice, you can send the URL to your content. All of that can be included in the text message that will be sent to your customer. And if you want to know about where that can be done from, let me quickly show you that. So if you go to your invoice settings here, you have your invoice template. And if you edit your current invoice template, it will take you to this email. And the first one is your email, and the second one is your SMS template that you can set up. Hopefully that helps you, with the answer to your question. Okay, coming back here, just wanted to come back to typically how payment processing is made easy in ServiceWorks. We're going to look at this video right here, which is talking about how you will be collecting payments in the field, meaning your mobile app, how you will be, processing your payments in the office and online as well, how your customers are going to process the payment themselves, after you have sent them an email or a text. So if you, let me go here quickly, job. So from ServiceWorks web portal, you can see your jobs. So if I pick a job here, typically, and go in here, this is a payment link, of course, that's the payment link. Your customers, you can see, this is what they're going to see. And you can put the payment information from here as well. You put in what the customer is going to pay, everything, and then the customer will give a signature here, and then the payment can be submitted. Now, if you from the office wants to process the payment, then you can go to the individual job screen. The payment option is right here underneath, where you have the option to take a down payment, you have the option to take the complete invoice payment, and it could be via any of these payment methods. We support cash, credit card, check, on account, electronic fund transfer, and debit cards and others. So you can pretty much, pay your invoice, uh, get the payment done from your customers here, or your email template or your text template will include this payment link where they can click on, and they can typically come in and they can do the payment and process the payment. Now, when that payment goes through, if you are the admin, you will get a notification that you have received a payment. And when the payment actually goes through, your customer can actually get a receipt saying that, hey, thank you for your payment, and this is how your receipt looks like. You can also customize how your payment receipts can look, but there is a template that is pretty solid enough that we have put in, you know, that can be sent out to your customer as is. So if you can look at this, there's a payment receipt that can go out. This is a template for it, and this is the email that will go and say, hey, thank you for your payment. Here is your payment has been processed successfully. It will give them the invoice number, the payment date, and all other details according to this template. So again, you have to make sure that this automation is turned on. And every time a customer has made a payment, they will always get the receipt for the payment that they have done. So that is one way that you can make sure that you are, getting paid, you are tracking your payments, and this will all happen from the web portal of ServiceWorks. So I also had tried to upload a quick video from the mobile app where your technicians in the field can process the payments when they are in the field right in front of the customers. So you save a lot of time by doing that because your technician is right there. They have completed the job. And if, their permissions are all set up correctly in their mobile app and they are allowed to process payments in the field, they will be able to invoice the customer right then and there and then take the payment. So let's see. Let me see. If this doesn't play, I'm just going to play it from my computer. Give me 1 second so I can play it. All right. Let me bring it here. So here is my mobile app, and we can see the jobs for today. When we come in, it will show you the option where you can see all the charges and make sure that your charges are here. You can typically go to your pay button. These are the options that you will see where you can actually take the payment from the field, uh, cash, card, check, fund transfer, on account. You can do all of that from the field. If you're connected to the payment gateway, then you can directly actually completely take the payment, and then the receipt will be sent to your customer directly saying that, hey, thank you for your payment and here's your receipt. Now, to be able to send the invoice, you can go to the email tab, you can preview your invoice, you can attach the invoice, and you can email the copy of the invoice from the field itself. So that's, added value right there. So if your technician is using the app, and if everything is appropriately set up in their mobile app, they can definitely save a lot of time um, while they are in the field and they are invoicing. So that will automatically reduce the burden on people in the office to worry about, invoicing your customers at the end of the day. and so on. So your mobile app also, you have the ability to look at all your invoices, which are paid, due, overdue. So you can keep a track of what's going on from the mobile app as well. So we're not limiting you to the web portal. You will also be able to see the invoicing side of it from your mobile app as well. So we have this invoicing here where you can see these are all your overdue, and it tells you how many days it has been overdue. You can see all the paid invoices by the month, and you can also see the ones that are due and your cancel invoices as well. So you will be able to keep a track of that from your mobile app too. So that is typically how you can leverage your technician's ability to process the invoices from the field as well. So that's about um, going back to our slide, which was talking about how do we collect payments in the field? How do we do it from the mobile app? How do we do it from the office? And how do we do it from online? Now, you know, that being said, even after you send the invoices to your customers, it happens that, they sometimes forget to pay. You don't receive the payments, it's been a while, you need to follow up. So, if you are set up, if your automated invoicing feature is turned on, then it will send your customers the invoice and the reminder to pay your invoice, and it will follow up on that. So if you have that feature, then that is something that you are actually covered with. So that's typically about that. Now, sometimes you also find yourself in situations where you're doing partial payments, like down payments, or you might just want to take a partial payment. Like, let's say if you're out there in the field and you are going to order parts for this customer, for example, and then your total invoice is going to be like $300, but since you have not ordered the parts, you're going to just charge them, a partial sum of the invoice total. And you can do that. You can run a partial payment from ServiceWorks, even if that's from the web portal, or even if that is from your mobile app, you can definitely do that. Handling even, let me actually go there and show you partial payment and refund. So this is the one that I wanted to show, that even if you have like a $250 job, it's going to still help you take a partial payment or a part payment for that matter. So for example, if you're here, you can definitely go here on the payment section. Let's add a service here quickly to $50. And then when we have done that, under the payment area, we can, let's say, take $100 payment or $200 payments here. So let's do cash payment, and your payment is saved successfully. And that's the partial payment. Thank you, Taj, for posting it. And if you want to do a refund of whatever the payment was done, you can also issue the refund as well for the same. So that also can be handled typically from our side. Let's see, this should show you how we're gonna do the refund. It's the same job we worked on. We're gonna see, how we're gonna do the refund here. So there's a refund option on the payment, and then we can put in the amount that we've taken. We're gonna return the $100 we took, and we're gonna write a quick note on, what we have refunded and what we've done. And everything that is happening, in terms of taking a payment, refund, it is all logged under the job log, and you will see everything in the payment history, whatever the payments we have taken, whatever partial payments or full payments that has happened, it will build over your history in each of your customer profile. So if you look at your customer's payment history, this all of these actions that we've done, it will all reflect in your customer's payment history as well. So let's take a look at um, how we will be managing and tracking our payments. So far we covered, how we can send the invoice, how we can send the payment links, how our customers can click on those links, they can pay, we can, get notifications of getting paid, and we can keep a track of who paid, and, but we cannot remember everything every time, right? So there should be a better way of tracking and looking at our data as well. So, um, definitely we should make a good use of your payment dashboards, looking at your ServiceWorks' dashboard. You can look at our reports. You can keep a track of all your payments definitely from all of this. Now, tracking paid, unpaid, and your overdue, we saw a little bit of that, how we could do that from our mobile app, but we're going to see how we will be able to keep a track of our paid, unpaid, and overdue invoices from ServiceWorks' web portal as well. Followed by that, we will also be looking at um, how you can keep a track of your customer account receivables. Anybody basically who hasn't paid you yet, you will see them listed in your customer AR. You will be able to, and if you, of course, have that feature in your plan, the statements, you will be able to generate statements and send it to your customers as well. So let's take a look at this dashboard really quickly here. So here, typically is everybody able to see my video, or it's a little fuzzy to you guys on your screen? Okay, Christina is saying it's okay. It looks okay. All right. So yeah, I just want to make sure that you guys can see everything. So if you go to your accounting section on the top, there is an option that says invoice and payment. So first we're going to see what the invoice tab looks like. So this is your invoice page. There is a search box here with different parameters, and then it also shows you your invoices by different status. If you click on those, they will filter as you requested. Like it will show you all your paid, all immediately due, and the ones that are canceled. And if you refresh, it will just show all your invoices together. Now on the search here, you can search your invoices by customer names, invoice numbers, if you typically know what that is, or it has a different option where you can see. That's, I think you guys are not seeing the options that are being displayed here, is what I'm guessing. So let me actually take you directly there. So if we go to invoice here, this is how your invoice page look like. And then you have your invoice type, which is sent or not sent invoices. ServiceWorks can help you filter those as well. And then with the different options, which shows, which will show you all of the invoices, or it can show you only completed jobs, or show you just invoiced items only. So there's different options that you can see. Now, this is a mix of everything. You have all the paid invoices immediately due. And if you select on the invoices that are due, you can send send an email notification to all your customers via using this send bulk invoice. If the cards are present and if your payment gateway is set up, then definitely you can, process your payments literally right from this one single button assuming if you had 10 jobs on this page, all of those 10 jobs had a card saved on file, you can just select all those jobs and process your card payment. And that would be, everything would run just in a click of a button. So that's how you will actually look at your invoicing dashboard right here. Now, if you take a look at your customer AR, you can see all the people who are due for a payment. They owe you money in some sort of way. So if you look at this one, you go to payment, and if you are seeing multiple invoices here, let's say this customer send you a check, then or they send you like a bulk electronic fund transfer payment, or they paid you by card, either or ways, you can always go to proceed payments. And when you go here, you could actually select your payment mode and then apply a payment. This also has a credit available, so you could use this apply credit button to actually uh, post the payment for this customer. So that is about your customer account receivable. Typically, now if you are in your customer account receivable, and if you have the statement features enabled in your account, you have the ability to generate the ad hoc statement. Um, the purpose of the ad hoc statement is you should be able to generate a statement for that customer at any given point of time and not a specific time of the month, like last day of the month or 15th of the month. This will just generate an ad hoc statement. So let's say if I generate the statement here, it will show me what is due, the job numbers, and if there is, it will also show me the invoice also that is in there for that customer typically. So that's how your ad hoc statement is going to work. If I look at my statement module here, go to the statement. So here is your statement page, and it does say that your finance charge is not enabled at this time. So if you want to enable that, you could enable that, or you can go ahead and do it in the setup as well. This page will typically show you people who owe you payments, and then you can use this page to send in your bulk statements, or you could print them or post them via mail after you have printed them, or you could email them as well if there's emails mentioned for those customers in their profile. So you can definitely do that, and it would, it would show you all due invoices, or with no invoices, it would show you the statements accordingly. So that's how you can keep a track of your statements as well. So that ways we've covered your customer AR, your statements, and your ad hoc statement if you have to generate that at any given point of time. That is exactly what we covered in this video. So since it didn't play well, I just wanted to make sure that you see the actual video of what I wanted to show you. So typically, we talked about that. And definitely, if you are interested to know a little bit more about ServiceWorks' integrated payment and see what you can get, please feel free to reach out to us. We can help you get started to set up your payment gateway account. So that ways, if you are connected to a payment gateway, you can benefit a lot from just connecting that, because everything will be under one roof. It's under one umbrella. You're able to process payments, track them, and if you don't have to chase people for payments after that, hopefully. So please let us know, and we will get in touch with you as well. So Here are some of the best practices that, you know, we can definitely look at. These are something that I came up with after like the whole summary of the webinar. But if there is some of the best practices that you are using, then please go ahead and share it with us. So it will be like a group learning for everybody, and we will learn something from each other in the session. So definitely these are some of the best practices I would recommend. Send invoices immediately after the job is completed. In fact, you can set up your automation for that in ServiceWorks, that every time the job is completed, the invoice is sent out automatically, because that's going to help you avoid delays and, just help you keep things in perspective and keep on track and be on top of your cash flow constantly. So definitely make sure you're sending reminders um, to follow up with that setting of automated invoicing. It will help you keep a track again of people who haven't paid you so far yet. So that will definitely help you. You can define payment terms. Uh, in your disclaimer section, make sure your payment terms are defined. So anytime your customer is using the payment link to pay, or whenever they get an invoice, the disclaimer is included in there. The payment terms are included, so they really know what they're getting into. If there is a late fee, if there is a finance charge that you would apply for late payments, please make sure that you include that in there as well, so they are aware of the consequences if the invoices are not paid in time. Make sure you have enabled your multiple payment options to track your payments in ServiceWorks that way. Like if somebody paid you cash, if somebody paid you by check, if somebody paid you via credit card, then you are, you know, you have posted the payments with that payment method, so you can keep a track of, how many transactions were credit card, how many were like checks, and so on. Definitely make use of the beautiful templates that we have in ServiceWorks. It's all predefined. uh, where you can definitely uh, change colors for the template to match your branding colors. They will look more professional and nicely tailored to your customers, with crisp and clear information on what service was done, what were the notes from the tech, and what are the items and the service items that you're charging them for, so they clearly know what they are paying for. So that helps you look good in front of them and makes you look professional as well. So definitely, make use of the different invoice templates. Um, Set up your branding, put your contact details, put in your information. So if they have a question or a query, they can reach out to you. And definitely, if you are using job types, if you're offering different services, you can set them up as different job types, and you can use different invoice templates and keep everything separate and nice and clean. So definitely make use of that, leverage that feature. That will be super helpful. Track invoice statuses, in real time. Use the invoice page of ServiceWorks to make sure that you are getting like an overall view of everything. You are not losing sight of invoices that are due immediately, invoices that are not paid, and so on. So that page gives you a good amount of information on what is due, what is paid, and what is canceled. So that's one place. And um, one more area that your customers can pay from is the customer portal of ServiceWorks. So if your customer portal is set up, they have the ability to actually pay from the customer portal as well. So these are some of the best practices that you can, follow along and make sure that you have simplified your invoicing process using ServiceWorks. So I know we have just 10 minutes for questions and to be answered, but I would love to hear your questions. If you have any, please post them in the question and answer area so we can answer them. And I would love to hear your takeaways. So if there is something that you found was important today, that we shared with you, please take a couple of minutes, and it would be super helpful to understand what your takeaways were. If you want to post them in chat, that would be super, super awesome. Michael, I'm just now seeing your question in the chat here. Yeah, we definitely can help you customize your template. I can reach out to you after and help you with the desired customization you're looking at. We can do that. Any questions? We still have a couple of minutes before we go. And there's, thank you. That's awesome, Dennis. That's a good feedback. And if you need help, please feel free to reach out. We're here to help. We have our next webinar on 29th May, and it will be about warranty processing with ServiceWorks. I know a lot of you who were here last time as well wanted to see a webinar on warranty processing with ServiceWorks, so we will be doing that next. So I would love to see everybody join in, and we can learn more about warranties and warranty submissions, everything related to that on our next session. So anybody who has questions, please feel free to post them. Or if you want to reach out to us after, please feel free to reach out. Here's our contact information. You can email us at success@service.works or give us a call. Or you can also go to our blog page where you will find a lot of informative articles about a lot of our features in there. Thank you, Taj, for posting it. Michael, please feel free to reach out, and we'll get the necessary help you need for the customization of the template. And if you have, not done yet, I would really love to hear from you. If you guys can take a couple of minutes from your busy day and write us a review on Capterra, that would be super appreciated from our side. It would mean a lot to hear from you out there. So if you want to scan the QR code and leave us a review on Capterra, that would be super awesome. All right. Looks like we don't have any questions to answer today. Please let us know again, if you have any questions, we're here to answer them. And if you want to reach out to us after, please feel free to do that. And we can definitely do that. And thank you so much, Aparna, for posting that again. Please uh, join our Facebook group and you can get peer support from there as well. Thank you. Thank you so much for posting that again. And once again, I'd like to thank everybody who was here today for your time. I really love meeting you all for webinars. And thank you so much for your feedbacks. There will be a survey that will come up on your screen as soon as this webinar ends. So please feel free to, give us give us your feedback. That will help us understand what you would like to see more and more from our side as well. Thank you so much for your time, everybody. I hope to see you all soon again.